This is the Boox Go Color 7 Gen 2, a 7-inch color e-reader that also now supports a stylus. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at everything that you get inside the box, as well as just some features and my initial impressions of the device. So opening up the box, the first thing that you will see is the Boox Go Color 7 Gen 2 itself. But I'm going to put that aside first so we can take a look at all the other things that you also get with the device in the box. So here we have a USB to USB Type-C charging cable, and also a card tray eject tool for the SD card slot that the device also has. And then you also just get a few booklets that includes the warranty and the user guide. Now getting back to the device itself, let's take off all the wrapping and take a closer look at the design. Now this is similar to the first gen Go Color 7. We have our page turning buttons at the right hand side, which is slightly different from the previous model, but I'll get into that. Then at the top we have our power button, and at the side we have our USB-C charging port as well as the SD card slot. And then we have this really nice textured back. I really like this because it makes gripping your device really comfortable. I then just quickly went on to set up the device, just setting my region and setting it up. But now I want to take a closer look at some other accessories that you can also get with the device. So first off, we have the InkSense stylus, which is now compatible with the Go Color 7 Gen 2. And this is sold separately. So in the box, you get the stylus itself, as well as 3 extra nibs. But I will be getting into that and testing it out a bit more later in the video. Now with your purchase, you will also get a case for your device. This is their protective case. With the Go Color 7 Gen 2, you get a beige case, which is made from vegan leather on the outside, and the inside has a microfiber lining. It attaches magnetically to your device, and it even has a little pen loop where you can store the stylus. Oh, and the case also has an auto sleep / auto wake feature, but I really just think it's nice that we get a case with the device. It just makes it really convenient when you're taking the device out and about, so you don't have to worry about it getting any scratches or damage. Now that's everything that's inside the box. Now I just want to take a look at some other features that the device has, as well as just covering some of my initial impressions when using the device. So similarly to the first generation of the Go Color 7, the Gen 2 also has a Kaleido 3 e-ink display. E-ink means that it mimics the look and feel of regular ink on paper, and the Kaleido 3 means that we actually have color with this e-ink display. Now color e-readers are a bit more rare, but they've really picked up over the last few years, especially with Kindle also now releasing their own version with the Kindle Color Soft. This has become a bit more common nowadays. Now when looking at the specs of the device, you will see 2 metrics. You will see 300 ppi for black and white content and 150 ppi for color content. So ppi stands for pixels per inch, and it basically just means that the black and white content, when you're just viewing regular like books, it will just be a little bit more crisp than when you're looking at color content like a graphic novel, for instance. I do wish we did get some improvements when it comes to viewing color content on the device, but most e-readers have 150 ppi when it comes to color content specifically. But yeah, the display is basically the exact same as the previous model, so just like any improvements of the display brightness or quality would have just been nice. So yeah, the difference between the first gen and the second gen Go Color 7 is very slim. I would say the only noticeable difference really is the fact that the page turning buttons now has a gap between the top and bottom button. Now I am happy that they changed it. It never bothered me, but I know some people had complaints with not being able to distinguish between which button they're pressing. So the fact that we now have more of a gap between those 2 buttons just is a nice addition. And then other than that, we have some minor spec improvements, like for instance the fact that we now have Android 13 instead of Android 12 on the newer model. And of course, we now have the compatibility with the InkSense stylus. Now, I'm mostly going to be using this device as an e-reader, and that is what I would recommend most people use this for. If you're looking for a note-taking alternative, then I would rather recommend one of Boox's other devices like the Note Air series. The InkSense stylus just isn't the same as the stylus you would get with the Note Air series, because with those, they were using Wacom's technology, and the InkSense stylus doesn't use that, so it's just not as precise, and the comfort of writing just isn't the same as with those devices. But on this note, I don't think that was what Boox was going for when introducing this stylus alongside this e-reader. As I see it, this stylus can be a really nice addition. It's helpful if you want to do some quick note-taking or just quick annotations of books. So it's just adding features to the device. It's definitely not taking away from any experience of reading on the device, but it's definitely not the sole reason that you should get this e-reader. Now when filming this, I've only been using the device with the stylus for like a week, so I will go into more depth in my full review that will be coming in a few weeks that outlines more of my experience using it. But so far my experience has been fine. Like I said, it is helpful for like quick notes and quick annotations, but definitely not any like long writing sessions. You will also see on the device we now have a dedicated notes section, and this has always been really great on all of Boox's devices. You literally have all the pens and colors and tools that you would need for any type of like note taking or doodling, and you also have a variety of templates that you can use, but again I will go more in depth on this in my full review. Now for what I'm actually going to be using the device for, which is reading. This is really a great reading device. I use my previous Go Color 7 all the time. It was like my main e-reader. And of course, the fact that we have Android on here means we have the Google Play Store, which in turn means that we can download a bunch of different apps on the device. And I absolutely love this since I can have Kindle, Kobo, Libby, my Bible app, all my reading apps all on one device. Now I do own a Kindle as well, but like I've mentioned in previous videos on Boox devices, I also love reading on like Libby and reading Libby books, but I don't like reading on my phone, and I cannot send Libby books to my Kindle since I'm outside the US. I know there are workarounds for that, but this just makes it really simple to be able to just read any book on any platform on this device. Now, of course, what also makes this device really unique is the fact that it has color. And this isn't something that I find myself using all that much. I don't really read graphic novels or do like any browsing on this device. The only times that I really interact with color content is when I'm like browsing books on Kindle and you see all the book covers in color, or when I'm highlighting in a book. And for that, I really don't have any complaints. My number one tip always for anyone who's getting a Boox device, especially if you're getting a color version, is that you need to get comfortable using the e-ink center. I go to a lot more depth about optimizing the screen and refresh rates and all that in my full review of the previous Go Color 7. So if you want some tips on that, you can go ahead and check out that video since it is basically the exact same screen. But for now, all I will say is the color experience is fine, and reading like graphic novels on here is an overall good experience when you have the correct refresh settings applied. You just basically have to play around with some of that in the ink center. And of course, one of my favorite features of the whole Go 7 series that Boox has is the fact that it has page turning buttons. You can edit and optimize this in settings for each individual app, but I just find it really convenient to have these physical buttons. It's definitely why I reach for this more than my Kindle Paperwhite, for instance. And also the thicker bezel at the side makes it just really comfortable to hold. Now, there are many other specs that I can throw at you, like the device's 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage. You can expand that with the SD card slot. Also, it has a 2300 milliamp hour battery, which is, from my experience with a previous device, more than sufficient. You can go a few days without needing to charge, which is nice. But again, my full experience and in-depth review, if anything changes from, say, my experience of the previous device, I will cover in my full review in a few weeks. But that's everything that I'm going to cover right now. In this video, I just wanted to give you a good, like, overall look at the device, everything that is new, and just some of my initial impressions. If you were maybe looking into getting this device already, if you wanted to know just some things about it. But let me know in the comments down below what you want me to go more in depth on and cover in the full review, and I will definitely do that. For instance, if you want to see more of how the stylus works with the device or any specific use case, let me know in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed taking a first look at the new Boox Go Color 7 Gen 2. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!